I'm about to tell you how to turn this into this. Both of these shots using the same $50 C920 webcam. By the way, huge thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Owns.tv, the one-stop shop for all of your stream design needs, where you can pick up an overlay, panels, camera border, profile picture, and banner. And my favorite part about it being if you pick up an overlay, like for example, this one called Rodan, they're all modular. So if you and your entire team pick up the exact same one, you can each pick and choose different portions and none of you are gonna have the exact same overlay. So if you want to make the smart move like many of the community have done, make sure you use the link in the description below to pick up your overlay that also supports the channel, and make sure you use code ALPHA at checkout for 40% off. Also, just a reminder, I do stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, twitch.tv/HarrisHeller, link in the description below. Let's talk about this camera trick. If you saw our last video, you know I am frustrated with the webcam industry right now. We've got just incredible new tech in streaming, audio, lights, control, but for some reason we only get a new webcam like every 3 to 5 years, and they feel like they're a decade behind. And by the way, I understand that there are serious hardware limitations to the typical webcam design. When you try to fit a sensor that small and lenses that small together, it's literally impossible to get that natural shallow depth of field. Not to mention so many comments saying, how come the camera that's in my phone, which is smaller, how come that gets a better image than this webcam that's this fat? And you gotta remember, by the way, the processor in your smartphone is so much more powerful than the processor in a cheap webcam. It's just important to recognize that with the current model of webcam technology, it's not going to be possible to get that shallow depth of field. So in the meantime, or at least until someone brings some real innovation to the webcam industry, here's a way to get some faux bokeh, as we're gonna call it, or basically fake that shallow depth of field like you saw in the original image. I feel like, by the way, post-production Harris here, I feel like I really missed an opportunity here to call the faux bokeh, fokeh. So, we're renaming the thing. This is called fokeh. Back to the video. Because yes, that was done entirely on a C920 in real time in OBS. So let me show you how to do this. The secret is like stupid simple. Like I'm gonna tell you and you're gonna roll your eyes and be like, why did I not think of that? Step 1, find the camera angle that you want to use. Step 2, take a picture of your empty room from that same angle, preferably on a better camera like your smartphone camera. Step 3, throw this image into free software so you can add stuff like adjusting the lighting, adding those cool LED lights that you've always wanted, or of course, adding that background blur. And finally, green screen yourself in front of this image. Make sure, of course, that you light yourself properly, preferably similar to the lighting of the room that you had, so it really sells that natural matching lighting look. That may have even sounded more complicated than it actually was. So let's do this. Let's go step by step. And the first thing I'm gonna show you is a simple version that you can do literally right inside OBS. I set up the webcam exactly where I wanted. And then using my phone, I took a picture of the room from that same angle. Now I used the super ultra wide in the new iPhone 11 and that same ultra wide angle that a lot of modern smartphones have. You don't need to do that, but that gave me a lot of extra flexibility to zoom and crop and rotate and adjust. Now this is what we're going to make our background out of. So the first thing you need to do is install a free plugin called Stream Effects. I'm gonna link you to the download page right here. You're gonna scroll down, you're going to click this exact link. This is the installer. You don't have to drag things into folders. You just click it, run the installer, and it installs a blur plugin right into OBS. This will not work in Streamlabs OBS. They don't support this plugin package. I'm gonna tell you how to do it in Streamlabs after I tell you to do it in regular OBS. Once you have this plugin installed, you go right into OBS, you add that picture you took as a new image source, resize the image to fit properly and be symmetrical. Then you're gonna add that blur filter and go ahead and toy around with the blur strength. Just be careful not to overdo the blur because it will be tempting to crank it. Be strong. You can also add a color correction filter if you'd like to toy around with the darkness or the contrast, maybe a little bit of the hue to give it the color that you want, and then green screen yourself, sit in front of it. You will be in focus, the background will be blurry, kind of like, well, if I zoom this in, look at that, kind of like this. Look how blurry this stuff is behind me. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Now, if you're running Streamlabs, you have to do one tiny different step because you're not gonna be able to blur it inside of Streamlabs OBS. Instead, what you're gonna have to do is download a free software called GIMP. This is available for both Mac and PC. GIMP is like a watered down free Photoshop. So you're gonna open your photo inside GIMP, you're gonna go to filters, go to blur, go to Gaussian blur. When adding the blur, I would recommend a value between 10 and 16, maybe 20 if the background is really far behind you. I think I used about 14 or 15 on mine. And then export it. Then, same as regular OBS, add that new exported image in as an image source. Go ahead and resize it, add color correction, and then key yourself into it using that green screen. And that's the simple version. However, I know you, and I know, that's not enough for you. You want more. You want lights. You want one of these beams behind you, or maybe some nano leaves, right? Well, the best part about this is because the camera background is so blurry, you can add those things in and it's gonna be much easier to make it look real. So Sam did what Sam does best, and he made some incredible things for you. And because he's here in town this week, I'm gonna have him explain exactly how to do it step by step. Oh, you wanna do it here? You wanna do it like in my chair? You hijacked my stream earlier, that's not enough for you? Get out of my stream! Get out of my stream! But whatever, I don't even care.
Sit down in his chair, call out some subs, and he hits me with the broom. Unbelievable. So if you guys want to take this trick to the next level, you're gonna need a few things. Firstly, you're gonna need to download the free version of DaVinci Resolve from the Black Magic Design website. Again, all links are in the description down below. Then head on over to the Discord where there is a free DaVinci Resolve project file that you can download that has everything set up for you. Inside it, there will be a drop zone clip and 2 LED light clips. Those 2 LED lights are a LifeX beam and a nano leaf. Bring in the image you took earlier and add it to your project. There is a clip called Drop Zone inside of the project. Right click that and select Open in Timeline. Drag and drop the image of your room into the timeline and position it where you want it. If you need to make scale adjustments, use the inspector and adjust the zoom, X and Y parameters. Jump back into the original room template timeline and select the light you want to use and then turn off the other one. Or you can use both if you like RGB and if you want to make your stream go faster. Go to the inspector and use the zoom, rotation, position, pitch and yaw parameters to manipulate the look of the light. If you want to add more lights to your scene, just move the blur overlay up a few layers, copy and paste your light onto the track above, and then do the same adjustments as before. To make this easier, I recommend turning off the blur overlay layer by clicking this button here. If you want to decrease the amount of blur that is affecting the room, select the adjustment clip, go to the inspector and select Open FX. Click on the Gaussian blur filter and then adjust to your liking, but again, remember, just don't overdo it. Next, jump to the color page, select the clip of your room, and adjust the color curves to give your room the look you're after. Finally, export your project by going to the Deliver page, and then using the H.264 preset, export your file. You're now set and ready to add this to your OBS as the background layer for your stream. With that said, I'm gonna clear off before Harris comes back with the broom. All right, bye.
Well, you'll never get a raise! So here's the deal, I would love to see how many of you do this. If you do it, please tweet it at both Sam and I. We'd love to see screenshots, clips of your stream. It would also give us some great feedback so we can see what adjustments most people need to make, and we can talk about those in our stream and give people more tips. Once again, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, link like on screen and in the description below. I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, happy streaming. Are you freaking kidding me? Get out of my stream! Move! Move! This is why you'll never get a raise! Get out of here! Get out of here! And never come back!